We are live.
We are live. So we should be all set.
Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency of July 17th, 2024. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of our June 18th board meeting. Motion. Thank you, Dan. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Dan. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving onward to public comment. Come to the part of our agenda where we have a public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the Industrial Development Agency, whether you're live or on that screen, please feel free to state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you. Moving on to the Executive Director's report. Stacy.
Just a few items. The last 48 hours, we have spent time with Newmark Global Corporate Services as part of our Southern Tier Clean Tech Corridor analysis. We've been working with them right now for about 3 months, mostly on information gathering, data collection on the region. This was their first and only scheduled in-market visit. So there are 4 individuals. 2 of those individuals have been spending time with key stakeholders in the region that include Binghamton University. They met with a number of regional industries, including BAE Systems, Lockheed Martin, Raymond Corporation, to name a few. We had a long and good discussion with NYSEG, a number of planning and workforce partners. There are also 2 individuals in town that are doing the site analysis. They do site selection for Newmark. The region submitted 15 sites. Our 4 include areas located at the Greater Binghamton Airport, 600 Main Street, the Huron campus, and the area for the planned Broome Tech Park. So the next steps, they will take all this data, formulate that into some sort of analysis of the region, including opportunities for business attraction, needs to get sites more shovel ready, and a number of other recommendations. We are expecting that in probably the beginning of October. They may want to do some follow-up back in the region, but so far very productive discussions with them over the last 2 days. I did attend last week. I attended SemiCon West as part of Team New York. This was, I think, in my recollection, the first time our region, certainly Broome and the broader region, was represented at SemiCon West as part of the team. The New York State Pavilion was very active, a lot of interest in New York, not surprisingly when you have companies like Global Foundries and Micron and Wolfspeed. We're able to make a lot of great connections with supply chain companies, talk about what's happening in the Southern Tier area, and we've done a lot of follow-up since. So I thought overall a very productive trip. I've connected 2 startup companies to the Kaufman Incubator. They have some planned follow-up, and we hope to have some follow-up meetings with a few of the companies that we spoke to there. And I will be attending myself, or someone from the office will be attending also for the first time the Battery Show as part of the New Energy New York and New York Best coalition. That will be in Detroit in October. Again, an opportunity to talk about some of the activity in the region and some of our sites. And then lastly, I just sent out to you this morning, we have nailed down a date for an open house for the Broome Tech Park. That will be August 6th. That will be at Johnson City High School. The goal of this is, as we've been stating, this is the vision for this park is to build it with the community. So we will have representatives from our project team on site. We will have large scale sort of concept boards. What types of amenities could we include at this park? And we'll have opportunity for the community to kind of weigh in on what amenities, what aspects of development and design they like, that they don't like. All of this feedback we get will be fed into the design process, which is at a very early stage now. This is not affiliated with any formal requirements of seeker. Our next steps will be next month. We will have before the board a draft scoping document for seeker, the State Environmental Quality Review. And then that will be published to the community, and we'll host our first public hearing in September. So keeping with a relatively tight timeline, but we're excited to invite the community in to have a to offer some feedback into what they would ideally like to see at this park. So more to come on that.
How do you set this up as far as this is, I mean, I've gone to these for flood maps and things of that nature. So it's basically you go from table to table to table.
Yeah. We'll have, I said, we'll have our
Representatives of each.
project teams, engineer, from the design engineering side, from the project consultant, we'll have experts there, you know, part of the team that's doing all of the seeker and the GEIS team. You know, our team will be there as well, and we'll spend the day just, you know, soliciting feedback, answering questions. There's no real formal presentations, or it's not a public hearing. It is truly an open house. And attendees will be able to go from board to board and sort of comment, you know, interactively, maybe through some kind of, you know, sticky note process. You know, what do you like? There'll be, you know, the design team right now is just looking at mostly fitting out what they think could fit from a size and square footage perspective, but there's no real design at this stage for the park.
Okay. It's a long day. I mean, it's gonna be
It's a
from 8 in
long
the
day.
morning until 7 at night.
It's a long
which
day.
is-
How is the open house been promoted?
We just launched the promotion today, just launched the flyer today. There is a media advisory that I think has gone out on that as well. It is posted on broomtechpark.com, all the registration for that. So we'll be, you know, sending all of this information to our key stakeholders starting today. So today is sort of officially the launch day of this.
Thank you. You've had a chance to, any other questions for Stacy? I'm sorry. You've had a chance to look at our internal financial reports. Any questions for Stacy on those? And as it relates to loan activity reports as of June 30th, any questions for Natalie on those?
Just if there's an update from the past due 60 days.
For
Person,
Antonio's?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Right, Joe? You haven't heard anything from all the letters you've sent?
No, we had no response, so we were preparing the documents to see.
What's the situation with Crowley's? Is there any movement there?
We have not had any official inquiry about a closing date. That year mark will be in September. Based on our new, relatively new guidelines, after a year, if there's been no activity, we would probably come back to the board about a termination of the benefit, or, you know, essentially it becomes null and void. We have reached out. They have told us things are still in process. They have made the two required fee payments per our guidelines. But yeah, we're hopeful to close on that one sooner rather than later.
Is it hung up in financing? Is
I
that-
think last we knew, they were working on permit financing. Mhm.
Any other questions?
That being said, just update on other closings. We expect this fall to close with Regan Development Group on Homesteads on Grand, and also VE Properties, which is Town and Country. But those are both New York State tax credit program deals. So we basically wait till they are ready to close with the state, and then our closing will coincide with that. But we expect both to be fall of this year.
Stacy, is there an update on the termination of benefits that we discussed last week?
Yeah, so the board took action and have terminated that. We have notified the owner of the One North Depot project. My understanding, and I admittedly have not checked in a few weeks, is that there is a potential buyer for that property. It is one that I think this board would look favorably upon working with. I don't have any updates other than that, but we are also working on making sure all current pilot payments are up to date with this current owner. So, in process.
Any additional questions? New business. Item number 6, resolution authorizing the agency to establish on an interim basis a line of credit in an amount not to exceed $5 million with NDT Bank NA for the FAST grant award from Empire State Development to build a shovel-ready pad at 600 Main Street in the town of Union, Broome County, New York, which line of credit will be secured through the assignment of up to $5 million of the agency's investment portfolio, and designates the following individuals as authorized signatories on the aforementioned account. Stacy Duncan, Natalie Abadessa, John Bernardo, and Daniel Crocker. Mr. Crocker,
This comes forward from committee.
thank you, Dan. Is there a second? Thank you, Mike. Any discussion or questions for Stacy? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? Item number 7, resolution approving an extension of the June 21st, 2023 sales and use tax exemption agreement with GMS Realty LLP, a Vermont limited partnership doing business in New York as GMS Realty Partners LLC from June 21st, 2024 through and including June 17th, 2025, kind of an odd day. The total of which shall not exceed $184,120. Mayor.
Yeah, the governance moves it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion or questions for Stacy on this extension request? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Item number 8, resolution authorizing the agency to provide a matching grant in the amount of $25,000 to the Broome County Department of Planning and Economic Development to be used to help Broome County and Tioga County create an arts and culture strategic master plan, updating the 2009 Susquehanna Heritage Area Management Plan, identifying and quantifying the region's creative and historical assets, analyzing the economic impacts of arts and culture, and developing specific recommendations on activities to leverage those assets. Dan,
This also comes forward from audit and finance as a motion to approve.
thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Any discussion or questions for Stacy?
Yeah, so this is a total of $50,000 just for this study, 25 from us and 25 from the county.
No, it's more than that.
The shortfall is
100 and,
25.
yeah.
Something else, yes, again?
The shortfall is 25. That's why we're leaning into it, I believe, right,
Oh.
Stacy?
Yes, correct. And this, and as I mentioned, in audit and finance, the exact study, something similar to this was actually one of the joint board blueprint priority items that came out of some of our joint discussions, specifically under the priority of placemaking. We had talked about the need to have a quantifiable assessment of the arts and culture in our region, economic impact, how to further promote those those assets as a way to be a business attraction tool. So this is in alignment with our priorities as the joint partnership with the chamber, and that's why we felt it was worth pursuing the cost sharing on this.
What's 200 grand?
The second
100 of
paragraph on
which
that.
the county's gonna apply for the grant, so,
So it's 200 grand. They're playing for a grant of 100.
right.
And then, yes.
So then,
Supplying 65,000 cash through local budget. Tioga County and Experience Tioga are each committing 5,000. Yes, so Broome County is requesting an additional 25,000 from our stakeholders.
honestly, if we were putting that kind of money into promoting the arts in this region, I'd be a lot more comfortable with it. I mean, it's a lot of money, to study what we have here. And it's just a lot of money to do that. I mean, and we have a Broome County Arts Council, we have a Tioga County Arts Council. I don't understand why they couldn't get together and come up with a strategic plan. Seriously, I just thought, if you tell me we're putting all this money into promoting this and letting this community know what we have here, I'd be a lot more comfortable with it. But that's my concerns.
Any other comments? Joe?
No, I mean, valid concerns. It seems like it's hard to get all these arts groups to work together on that. But
I think one of the goals of this would be to identify sort of a cohesive plan that all would be part of and accountable for executing collectively, and also to have a more cohesive message, I think is one of the things that has been missing. You have a lot of disparate groups sort of promoting the arts, and this would sort of bring a lot of that together under one strategy.
Is there an existing plan now that they're updating?
This is an update. This is an update to one that was from 2009.
And what did that do? I
That's
mean,
the issue is studies end up on shelves.
yes, that's my concern. I never heard about the one from 2009. So, okay, that's just my point.
Any other questions or comments? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed?
No,
And a yes, you're opposed?
yeah, I'm posting.
Any abstentions? Carried. Looking for a motion to go into executive session? Yes, no?
I don't have any items.
No items? Joe's happy? That's good. Looking for a motion. Any old business?
Sure.
There's a question on Avello Airlines. What was the reason? Is just not enough traffic? Is that what it came down to?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had our consultants, and so there was a discussion yesterday that Patrick Doyle sat in on for us,
Which I
but
did as well.
you were in
I
that.
was at the county executive's office. Bottom line is they had.
So the load
pulled
factors
6
were good.
routes,
Yeah.
Binghamton being one of them. They, from the sounds of it, they oversized the planes. Okay, so they're putting 200-seat
Oh
planes
my gosh.
and the need is more like 150.
But the loads were strong,
70 to
very strong.
70 to 90%,
Yeah.
depending on the month in question.
Yeah.
It's not cost effective for them.
Wasn't cost effective. They're changing their strategy and consequently they pulled us and 5 other markets.
Well, the thing was, originally was Orlando and Fort Myers,
Myers.
and then the hurricane kind of wiped
Yeah.
Fort Myers out as a tourist destination, right? So that probably hurt.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, because we were just down to basically, they were just going to Orlando then, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, when they started, they probably thought they had 2
Right.
markets.
Right.
And if they still had that, we probably would have been all right, maybe.
Yeah, and it sounds right. Again, it sounds like it wasn't necessarily given that it was 6 markets, not just this market.
Correct.
An issue of projecting their demand versus maybe, right sizing what they.
Were all the markets in New York, or were they just all over,
No,
all over the
across the,
Northeast?
yeah. They weren't just New York, so.
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's kind of fate. I mean, the hurricane, I think that impacted,
It didn't help.
yeah.
Mhm.
I was just curious. I figured that's what it was, but it's too bad.
Any other questions or comments? Any other old business? Looking for a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Dan. Is there a second? Thank you, Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
We do have one LDC item at
Oh,
Start
12:30.
that until 12:30. Sorry, no.
See?